All right, welcome to another special edition of the Aloha Pools Spas Deep Dive Podcast here on location at the St. Louis Home and Garden Show in downtown St. Louis. I'm John Watts along with Brad Cook. And who do we have today, Brad?
We have Elijah from Sam the Concrete Man here. Get that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You going to turn his mic up?
Yep, here we go.
Okay.
Try that again.
Yes, sir. Elijah with Sam the Concrete.
No, it's coming in through a different mic.
Let's do this one. Bear with us.
I need to.
The headphones are fine. Yeah, just.
How about that?
Yeah, there we go. I don't know what happened there.
Perfection. Yeah, you're coming in hot now. And Sam the Concrete Man, I saw his booth over there and thought, well, boy, concrete is right in our alley. So, Sam, so you know, I've been going to landscape companies, fence companies, the palm tree guy.
Yeah.
I don't have the fence company down yet for today. So at the home shows around, and we're just kind of meeting and sharing the videos afterwards. So,
sure.
You know, on each other's Facebook page, and it's just kind of getting to know people and all that. So when I saw you guys, I thought, well, a concrete man, because sometimes we get so backed up on pools, we would like a subcontractor.
Yeah.
And looking at your work, you do a little bit higher level end of work than we do typically, like some of your stamped concrete and all that. But if I get on a tangent, John will always pull me back and say, so tell me. So John, ask your opening question there.
Tell us about Sam the Concrete Man.
Yep.
How to get started, what you do, all of that.
Yeah. So Sam the Concrete Man, I'm the owner of it. And Sam the Concrete Man is actually a franchise that I own and bought 6 years ago. So we're nationwide, and I've been doing this for 6 years now. Been great. It's really taken off. We do all kinds of concrete work, pool decks. We do a lot of removal and replacement of the pool decks, and when they're sinking, you know, concrete sinks. Oh yeah, you know, some of that stuff we got to replace it. We do the copings, the concrete itself around the patios, and then of course all the different patios, driveways, sidewalks, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so everything you kind of stay in that concrete lane. There.
Residential concrete. Yep.
And you would say that concrete is all it's cracked up to be.
Oh, so what you did.
We always tell everybody all concrete cracks.
100%. Yeah. That's why you put the expansion joints in it.
Yeah.
I did a short video on it, and I've always known that it just cracks. But I thought, okay, I'm going to need some receipts. I'm going to need to tell a little bit more about why it cracks, and due to the shrinkage and it's kind of pulling away from the rebar. It's the short version, I guess. Right. But if I told you that concrete was a favorite part of what we do, I would be lying to you, brother. Just tell you. Yeah. We do it as kind of a necessary evil, but I have kind of a passion for it because I really don't want to talk about my wife or anything.
Sure. But
depending on the weather, depending on the week, the day, the hour, it's just a little different, every day. So when you pour concrete on a given day, sorry, honey, if you're watching, you're probably not. So I might go deeper on this,
Sure.
But on a given day, it might start cracking because the wind's blowing and the humidity is low.
Yeah.
And it's different every day.
Yeah.
And the mixer, whoever's mixing it, I don't guess I have to tell you that.
No,
maybe you could expand on kind of that, or what you do to mitigate.
Yeah. So that, like that. When you're looking at concrete, you talk to different guys and they'll say this plan's my favorite. I always buy from them, and they just get used to it. There's a feel to it too when they're putting it down. And when you're putting it down in hot weather, it's going to dehydrate faster, and the top is going to dry out a lot faster than the bottom. So you got to keep it wet. There's a couple steps that you can take to minimize that. So, if we only poured concrete in the perfect weather, I think we do about 4 jobs a year.
Exactly.
You can't do that. So
you adapt to what the weather's giving.
Exactly. So we always, especially on those hotter, we keep it hydrated. So spray the garden hose on it, just keep it wet on the top, and that'll really help keep it cool, help reduce those surface cracks and those dehydration cracks is what they're called.
What do you wish that consumers knew about concrete? What is it that I don't know that I'd be surprised by, or what's your main message that you wish everyone knew?
So there's 2 things that I wish everyone knew. One is what you just said: concrete is going to crack, which is why we put the grooves where the saw cuts in
Exactly.
there. What we're doing is we're weakening the concrete in that spot so it cracks where it's supposed to crack.
Right.
Oftentimes I hear, well, it's brand new concrete. Why has it cracked?
Right.
Because of that very reason. The other thing I would love to tell them is take care of your concrete, seal it.
Yeah.
In this environment, with the freeze-thaw cycles, in addition to the changing in concrete, the formulation, the 1L concrete that the EPA has gotten involved, because there's a lot of heat used in creating concrete. So there's a lot more lime in it. And as that water gets into the pores, if you think of concrete, it's just like a big hard sponge in your driveway, your sidewalk, whatever it is. So the more you can take care of that, keep it power washed and sealed, the longer it's going to last and the better it's going to look over time.
Yeah, especially the sealing. Okay. And for the most part, we've only sealed with an acrylic sealer, a type of stamped concrete.
Yep.
It holds in the color, and it's one of those things that's really quite necessary. And we offered a special where we would stamp our stamped concrete for people at a lesser price. Didn't have any color in it, and it was up to them to seal it.
Yep.
And it came in at a really respectable price. And what I found is, going back to those decks years later, is that they start to expose themselves. Or if you've ever noticed underneath the eave of your house where your gutters stop up and the concrete is eroded because the water's just falling on it, that stuff, concrete erodes. And so if you don't seal it, there's more than one type of sealer.
Sure.
And so you can seal it without having that acrylic sealer that builds up and has discoloration. And on a broom finish deck, you don't want to do acrylic sealer, or you will see every little, like a drywall. If you ever seen painted shiny paint on drywall, it shows every little imperfection on it. It'll drive you crazy. Yeah. But you want to seal it. So what would you recommend to people who have maybe the concrete that we poured, the stamped concrete without any sealer in it? What kind of sealer would you recommend that they do? And they don't want to have that upkeep where they try to make it colored every year.
Right. Yeah. So that acrylic sealer, you've got to have that on the stamped and colored. The sealer that I use, and I include sealer anymore on all of my jobs. It's a penetrating sealer. It's a silane siloxate is what it's made of. It's a penetrating sealer that goes down into the pores. Companies like New Way, Whitecap, they've all have those sealers. Do a quick power wash to get the crud off of there. And it's a spray application. Just spray it on. It's water-based. Walk away, and you're good to go.
Do you do that the first day, or when do you do it?
So when on a new pour, I'll do it. I can do it as soon as the bleed water is gone. So when the concrete's kind of dried up,
right?
That day. If it's a double car driveway, I can't reach the whole thing. I don't have that long arms. So I'll do it the next day. Most of those sealers, though, will tell you to wait the 30 days.
Okay.
So you do want to make sure that if you're doing a broom finish concrete that just poured,
right,
make sure that you tell the people it's just poured, or you got to wait the 30 days.
So if you can walk on the concrete, like what you were talking about, the penetrating sealer, if you can walk on it, is that necessarily you can spray at the end?
Yeah, usually the next day you'll be able to.
So you can even spray it before that if you don't have to. If you can get all across it, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just did a driveway that it was a single car, so I was able to reach it with my wand and sprayer, so I could do it the same day.
Do you think that helps it to cure? Slower?
Yes, it's also
we're talking shop, I guess, but I don't know. I think somebody might get some benefit out of this.
Yeah, it is a curing agent as well, so it does help it cure up better.
Yeah, so so in that sense, it will kind of close up the top. Is that safe to say that it'll close up the top and make the concrete evaporate from down to lose its moisture by evaporating
right,
down,
so
or letting the ground
fills up the pores basically of the concrete. Like I talked earlier about it being a sponge. So it sits in those pores, and then it slows that evaporation down a lot, and then it lets it cure better.
And in the summertime, that's got to be invaluable for a hot deck to be poured, and you just slow that down. It sits there at night, and then it just it stays in there, and it's longer to cure. Just like a lot of people will pour concrete in 38 sunny 38 degree day all day long, and people say, "Well, it's cold to pour concrete, isn't?" I'm thinking, well, that could be the very best time, day of the year. Somebody
Absolutely.
we had a podcast a little bit ago, and I forget what the guy was saying, But if I did this on the same day, on the perfect day, I would do 4 jobs a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't. Was that you
That
saying
was him that just said that. I'm like, that wasn't a little bit ago. That was like
Okay.
5 minutes ago. You're
Maybe you
losing
wanna-
it.
maybe
I
you
was
wanna
waiting
edit
for it. I was
that
like, are you
out.
really
Oh my-
saying what
Yeah,
he just
I really-
said?
I
I was
just
like,
did
that's
that.
kind of weird.
That
Somebody
is-
said that same thing.
You're like,
Wow.
wow, what am I on?
Yeah.
So I have a question while he gathers himself, and this is very selfish of me, but I'm guessing that the people that did the little, I have stairs out the back of my house that go out onto a little concrete pad, and I just bought the place, and it was one of the things that I noticed we're going to have to fix right away. And it looks like whoever poured, there's no cracks in it. It's just maybe a 8x10 pad here. There's no cracks, but it's almost as though sheets have pulled up, and there's like just the top, almost like it cracked from the top, and parts of the top of it came up, and there's like exposed innards and rocks in it.
Yeah, so that's called spalling.
Okay.
So this is the finished top of the concrete has peeled off, so something has gotten in between that cream layer, that top layer, and the concrete underneath. Water, and again,
Gotcha.
sealing would help with that. And that's usually what you see with sealing. If you don't seal the concrete, is it'll start to pop off, or it's also called spalling.
I see.
So that is what has happened. So
They didn't seal it.
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So it's 8x10 if it doesn't have any expansion joints in it. I mean, generally 10 to 12 feet is where you put an expansion joint. Anything smaller than that, you don't.
Sure.
Yeah, John, I think that's called spalling.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We
You
had a
heard that from an
podcast
earlier
earlier where a guy had talked about that was probably spalling. I don't know if you remember that.
Hey, this is the 4th one today, so I'll have you know.
And it's early.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But also does that also have anything to do with the way you finish it on top, or how much water you might put in it before it comes out on the ground?
That can, if it's overworked when you're trying to put it down,
Okay.
that can cause the spalling as well. And if you get what's called a hot load, where the concrete comes out of the truck just about dry.
Right.
Yeah. Some guys will add some water to it, and if you put too much water in it, all you're doing is diluting it.
Well, you're interrupting a process that's already kind of underway.
Exactly.
So you can't help but think that it undermines the strength of the concrete anyway, and the whole thing about the concrete molding together and some, the heat of the cement, the whole chemical reaction of concrete, that interruption, you can't help,
Right. Yeah. Because concrete is a chemical reaction. People talk about, well, is it going to freeze if it's too cold? Well, it doesn't freeze. The reaction stops.
Right.
So that's what happens, and that's why you get crumbling if you pour it in too cold weather.
Weird tangent. You see on movies and stuff, and I think I saw some episode of some medical show at some point where a kid got stuck with his hand in the concrete and he ended up with burns. Tell me about that. How does that happen? What happens?
Will burn.
Is that a chemical burn?
It's more of a heat burn. Like when you're out there and you're working on it and working with your hands, it will dry up everything. It'll dry your hands out really bad. Like in the fall, if you get leaves that blow across it, even a leaf that looks dry has some moisture in it. And man, that concrete will just suck the moisture out of there, and it'll get in the concrete and turn it to paper.
Oh wow!
It's super thin. I mean, the concrete will just suck up as much moisture as it can find.
So imagine it's just sitting there pulling everything out of the hand.
That makes too dangerous for a pair of mafia boots.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, and speaking of mafia boots, it's hard to segue from mafia boots to your booth has a lot of pictures in it that of work you have done, and some of it is probably like what we do, that basic no grout, so seamless slate concrete, but yours has a lot of, I guess, seamed. I don't know what you call it, but the stamps where it's a lot more ornate pattern, and they have like grout joints in it. It looks like maybe slabs of stone or brick or
nice.
I don't know. Talk to us a little bit about what all you guys do, just besides everybody knows you can probably drag a broom over concrete,
right?
And it's concrete and it's quite functional. Yeah. But what else do you do?
Yeah, there's some other the stamp concrete there's a Roman slate, which kind of looks like a raw rock. If you would think of walking through the mountains and you see like a big piece of rock or something like that, kind of gives it that. There's Arizona flagstone, which kind of mimics flagstone look. So the way that the stamp is, it leaves that wider grout. So it actually looks like you've got grout in between a flagstone.
Right. And random kind of look.
Yep. We've done a wood plank, which is really, really cool. I really like that.
So it's concrete that looks like a plank of wood?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you drive into the Union City store, the bridge that you cross, that's a wood plank.
Oh, really?
It's brown. It's different in
concrete.
color.
I never knew that was concrete.
It is concrete.
Huh.
It is concrete.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. We did a guy that has a carriage house over in Compton Heights, and the carriage house is almost as big as my house. But anyway, he was trying to match, the old look from the carriage house. We did that wood plank there. Awesome.
Neat. Yeah. I have a question coming up, so I'm setting you up a little bit. You guys you said the concrete, you do the walkways, you do work around pools, you do driveways. Have you ever done any type of concrete, like foundations for houses or anything, anything outside of?
We don't get into the actual home foundations.
Okay.
That's a whole different animal with all of the forms, but we do garage footers. So like for garage floor, or I'm sorry, for a new build garage. So we'll do this footer and the stem wall, and then obviously the flat work as well. You're going down about 30 inches is code. So you're going down 30 inches with that.
Right.
We also do a lot of work for one of the companies that does the 3-season rooms in town. So that's a little bit different, but that does require a footer as well. So we'll do a little bit of structural work.
I see a lot of the different colors in concrete with the little flakes and things like that. Are you guys into that as well?
So that's an epoxy covering or an acid stain.
Okay.
That's not something we currently do. Trying to get there if I had enough time.
Gotcha.
Right.
So stay tuned.
Yes.
However, though, the concrete any type of stamped concrete that he does is, I'm assuming you'd use it either integral color or a topical color, and then you go back and either what type of system do you use when you color concrete and finish it out?
Yeah. So when we do a stamping color, there's generally two colors. So there's the integral color that's mixed in with the concrete. So that's your base color. Right. I'll just pick a tan, whatever. Sure. So you busted that concrete in half, it's going to be tan all the way through.
Yep.
And then when you come back and you do the stamp, and on top of that, you throw out what's called a release color. The release color has two purposes. One, it gives it that contrast. So I'll say charcoal. So you got a tan and a charcoal. The other thing that does is it allows you to get your stamps back off without taking concrete with it.
They call it release, I guess.
The release color.
And is it made of liquid or powder?
Powder.
Or?
We use the powder.
Okay.
And that stuff just gets everywhere. So if you do a stamp project, just be prepared for that.
Around the pool, be prepared to vacuum the pool.
That powder goes everywhere.
Right.
Does.
And does it hurt the liner or anything like that?
It doesn't hurt anything. It's just dirty, and you can tell a guy that's done a stamp job that day because he's covered in it.
He's wearing it as well.
Yeah.
We use a lot of liquid release when and I had somebody tell me that, and I've always asked, can you do colored liquid release? And everybody's shaking their head like, I don't think so. I've never seen. But I found somebody that does it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's the only trick is, do you do that? It's getting it mixed up where it doesn't clog up the nozzle, maybe? That's all I can think of.
Yeah. So basically what they do is they stamp it first. So they would stamp, like, go back to the tan and charcoal colors. So you would stamp it first and let that set up, and then you would go back and spray that on there. And then what that'll do is it's going to sit down in the contours. So it's still going to give you that same look.
And you're spraying release or just spraying a colored?
Spray and release. It's a water mix.
After you stamped it?
After you stamped it, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and then you would seal it to hold that color in as well.
Okay, so the release doesn't need to get out of the concrete, or do you have to? You probably need to pressure wash.
You power wash it after it's set up. Just kind of get the excess off.
Doesn't take and the color stays with it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You wouldn't really power wash it. You actually just kind of rinse off the excess. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So be honest. What is your least favorite job to do? Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. If you did commercial work, I was going to guess a dentist office because another concrete guy told me that. But since you don't, I've got my guess of what I think it's going to be, but I want to hear what you say.
I would probably say some of some of the backyard patios, just because, one, it's tough to get in there. There's a lot of things to work around.
Right.
It just makes the job a lot harder. And getting into the backyards, they're always tearing up somebody's yard, with the tractors and the buggies and everything. It's just kind of part of the thing. You do your best to mitigate that, but it's a construction job.
Well,
you're gonna tear stuff up.
You failed the test. Your least favorite is pools. It's got to be. I don't know how it couldn't be, because a lot of you don't have to worry about getting
the copings are challenging. They're very meticulous. But
the people that we've always brought in to do the work for us, that we're like second to dentist offices, because there's so many things. The reason dentist office is so much trouble.
That's what I was going to ask.
Everything's all this plumbing comes out of the floor into every room, and then they've got a sink in every room, so they've got pipes everywhere. If there's a floor drain, you got to get everything to pitch to the floor drain. I don't know that dentist offices have to have floor drains, but there's a whole lot of stuff to work around. And so I think second is the pool, because there's a whole lot of stuff to work around.
Yeah.
You got if you have a diving pool, you've got a diving jig you got to work around. If you have a ladder, you have a ladder jig, and 2 ladders you got to work around.
Right. Yeah.
Handrail that you have to. And by the way, it's not that you just have to finish around them. You got to make sure they're plumb, straight up and down. Volleyball nets, deck jets, umbrella holders. When you get somebody going crazy, they want these umbrellas all the way down there, and we want to charge them $150 for the thing. They're going like, well, I can make that out of PVC, but they don't realize what they're doing to slow us down to get it worked around. And it just it takes time, and they think, well, it's just. But it's also it's also time. Also, you want it to be vertical. Yeah, and so that concrete is not ready to hold it up just right then.
Right.
So it's a lot more to it than people realize. So
and setting handrails and stuff like that. Well, just stick it in the concrete. It's like, well, are you going to stand here all day and hold the handrail straight?
That's right. That's right. And we have little jigs made to make life easier on that, and to try to hold everything in place. But it's also got to work around it.
That's right.
You got to, and also, by the way, that's the step. And that's where you enter the pool. And that's where you spend more time working the surface of the concrete.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you do a broom finish on it, it behaves different. Maybe it's tighter, or and so it's that. And that's where everybody looks. All the good concrete's around the back,
right?
where nobody ever walks.
When you're doing the concrete around, let's say you wanted to replace the concrete, it had spalted or something.
We
like
need to cover that.
Do you need to break it up first?
Yes.
You can't pour concrete on top of concrete.
You could. I'm not going to warranty that, though.
Right. There you go. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Do you ever do it and then look at the joints and look at the cracks in the concrete and then just mark it and then cut through it? So because it's going to grab those cracks and do the same thing if you're not careful, just almost totally relieve it.
Yeah. Well, especially bends in concretes and corners, always going to crack, 100% guaranteed every time. So we always look at those and say, where's the best place to put the joint? The other thing you got to think about when you're doing that is the aesthetics of it. So, you don't want willy-nilly cuts all over the place.
You don't. In the willy-nilly, and it's that constant battle. Do you want the willy-nilly joints or the willy-nilly cracks?
Yeah,
in some cases, we don't. We do that. We do round skimmer lids because I've seen it crack off of the square on each corner. Yeah. So you can put a joint right there up to the skimmer, talking shop again.
Yeah.
But anyway, though, and that's a good chance that you're going to get it to crack that. We come off of both ladder joints. And if all that is right by a corner where the corner joint is, the skimmer joint is, ladder joint, it's just, it's a lesser of two evils.
Right.
And so you just kind of got to do it, or you're going to have to look at the crack, one of the two.
Pick your poison. It's
exactly.
Fit, form, and function.
So
exactly.
Final thoughts here. Any closing message that you would like to let
let's don't close yet, because Elijah also at Sam, the concrete man.
I was looking at the time.
Also they tear out. You do concrete tear outs, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so tell us about some jobs that you've done.
Yeah. So if you're just looking for some tear out work, I mean, that's relatively less expensive than coming back in and replacing it. But yeah, replacing driveways, replacing walkways, your existing concrete, wherever that may be. So
right.
we'll come in with a jackhammer or a bobcat with a breaker on it,
right.
Bust everything up, get it out of there, get everything graded. And then when you put the concrete back in, you want to have a good rock base. That is the key to concrete.
So you'll take off a little dirt if you need to give them a nice rock base.
Get the rock. Right? Yeah, we want to go down because you're going to have 4 inches of concrete, so you want to have about 3 inches of rock. But then by the time you compact that rock, you're going to lose about a half to 3/4 of an inch anyway. So it's somewhere between 2 and 3 inches, I would say.
Saw a guy, a company, take a telehandler, cut the concrete up, and take it all almost in one piece, not one piece, but it was maybe a 60-foot driveway, right? Yeah. And then they took the telehandler and got up under a slab, went and set it on the dump truck, and they made really quick work out of it. Wow. We never get jobs like that. We've got to go in with jackhammers and saw and be careful and get around the pool and things like that. So it's just that's an interesting approach. I've not seen that before. Yeah, I thought I'd share that with you because when I saw it was just a few years ago, you never stop learning, right? Yeah. And I looked at it and I thought, holy crap, that's a great idea. That's not too bad. Yeah. I want to do this someday, and I just never get the chance to do it around a pool, right? Yeah. And then you got to get between the house and the pool. That seldom happens. So just love the idea, but doesn't happen much. Yeah. So. People get nervous when you drive a Bobcat on their pool deck. Oh, for sure. Don't worry. We're going to tear out the concrete. We do it out anyway. Another thing we've done before is we've done this. We'll reach out. We'll go to the farthest part of the pool. We'll reach out and get under the concrete slab and start pulling it back. Mm-hmm. And about as the time it starts to fall back this way, we'll catch it on the bucket, and haul it off. Then you can get some pretty decently quick work of tear outs done like that. But again, I'm talking about your job, and I have you here because I'd like to figure out if we could work a deal to pour some concrete. Sure. Because sometimes when we get backed up, we again pour it as a necessity. Mm-hmm. When somebody like yourself, we had a good working relationship with several tradespeople that work in the backyard. We can all work together and make some really happy customers, and all kind of stay in our lane if we can. Exactly. Yeah, I like doing that anytime I can. Yeah. So, of course. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that you do that we didn't touch that you'd like to cover here. The other finish that we do is exposed aggregate, which you see a lot around St. Louis. Yeah. Funny thing is, a lot of people think it's exposed, but it's actually just so old that the top has worn away, and they use the Merrimack rock out of the Merrimack River, which is that orange rock, and that gives it that exposed aggregate look. But we still do a lot of that. And the most difficult concrete that we've ever done is exposed aggregate. There's a trick, and once you learn the trick, you've got it. Once you've learned the trick, you've got it. But and if I could say it in one way, is don't spray it when you think you need to. Wait. It's all about timing. It is. Yeah. It's perfect timing. And so sometimes it'll feel like it's getting away from you. And I've seen people, I don't have the talent to take a pressure washer to it, but you always got a pressure washer in your back pocket if for whatever reason you start to lose it. But what happens is a good concrete guy like Elijah and like we used to be when we don't hardly ever pour it anymore, but they know to just go sit down and wait for a little bit and give it a rest, let it. Because what you want to do is that if you start to blow that off a little bit too fast, take that top layer off. It does. Just and the bottom is not ready for it, you'll start blowing holes in it, and then you'll have like these different pits of good exposed. It's just kind of exposed. It's just you see it, and it's amazing looking. Yeah. But it's one of those things that's. Once you get those pores opened up there, you kind of need to seal it off, or it's going to. Yeah, driveways are beautiful. I think it will speed the degradation process. Yeah. When you expose it like that, because now it's beating around the rocks, and it starts. You're getting water in there, and you've got some little spots, and water is going to collect. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh yeah, so man, I appreciate it. I love talking concrete. Yeah, it's hard. It's like
I've tried to close it up like 3 times. He said, "No,
let's talk about concrete some more." Right?
He does love concrete.
Yeah, I do, and the concrete I love the most is the kind that he pours.
Right? Yeah, we don't have to mess with it.
I don't mind it. It's an art, and it's a science, and it's a game. It's like you got to know what's going on. You got to know what's going around you. Yeah. I was telling somebody in a previous podcast. Actually, it was you at the first podcast.
Yeah.
About the weather.
Sure?
I'm trying to decide whether I want you to edit that out or not. That's pretty freaking
fun. That's fun. Leave it.
Really? I was in a zone, man. I don't know who the hell it was, but it was a little bit ago. It was
Got
you.
it all running together.
When
It was
you
you,
do
yeah,
like
right.
10 in a row, you start.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun though. Yeah, this week we learn about people. We learn.
Sure.
Yeah, now I know you
It's always
better,
fun.
and they know you better. We all, maybe they know me better.
Yeah.
And or maybe they know better than to mess with me.
And speaking
Anyway,
of
it's
getting to
fun
know
time.
you better, how does somebody reach you if they want to use you?
Yeah.
And tell us your coverage area, and then how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we go all the way from over Highland, Illinois, Greenville, all the way out to Wentzville, St. Charles area, up north to Detroit, Missouri, go down to Fenton, down pretty much the entire metropolitan area. You can find us on samtheconcreteman.com, St. Louis. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all the different socials, as well as phone numbers 314-256-9544.
Heck yeah.
Fantastic.
Sam the Concrete Man. If he can't do it, nobody can.
And Sam, I am.
There you go. All right, man.
Here we go.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
Well,
guys, so much for having me.
And again, that's going to wrap up another edition of the Aloha Pools and Spas Deep Dive Podcast, the special edition. And what we say when we end the show every time is dive safely.